Dear students, today we will discuss biomass conversion systems, which is used to generate electrical energy, as well as few conversion systems are used to generate the biogas and some other products. So before discussing the biomass conversion systems, first we have to know what is biomass. So in a very simple way, I can say that biomass is an organic matter such as wood, crops, seaweed, animal waste, etc., that can be used as an energy source. Biomass is probably our oldest source of energy after the sun. For so many years, people have burned wood to heat their homes and cook their food. So, we can also say that it is a very ancient conversion system if we are talking about the biomass. Biomass gets its energy from the sun. Since all the organic matter contains stored energy from the sun, and it can be obtained during a process called photosynthesis, in which the radiant sunlight or sun energy is used to convert water and carbon dioxide into oxygen and sugar. These sugars, called carbohydrates, supply the plants and the animals that eat the plants with energy. Biomass can be said as a renewable energy source because its supplies are unlimited. We can always grow trees and crops, and we can always have waste. So the waste will always exist. So in this way, we can say that biomass is a renewable energy source. In this process of biomass, first we should also know what are the types of biomass. So actually we have wood and agricultural products, to which we can say this is a type of biomass, and these products are having a large proportion in the biomass. Next topic is, I can say that the solid waste is also a type of biomass. Uh, what is actually the solid waste? Solid waste is actually the waste or garbage we have in our daily life and produce it. The third one is landfill gas and biogas. And another is ethanol. It is an alcohol fuel which is made by fermenting the sugar and starch found in the plants and then distilling them. While biodiesel is also a fuel made by chemically reacting the alcohol with vegetable oils, animal fats, or grease such as recycled restaurant grease. Most biodiesel today is made from soybean oil. Biodiesel is most often blended with petroleum diesel in the ratios of 2%, 5%, or 20%, which are known as B2, B5, and B20 respectively. So, these are the types which we have already discussed here. Now we come to the point, the conversion systems of the biomass. There are many conversion systems. Biomass can be burned to create heat directly and convert it into electricity, or biomass can be processed into biofuels and can be used to generate electricity indirectly. So first we will discuss the thermal conversion. There are so many kinds of thermal conversions of biomass. The biomass can be burned by thermal conversion and utilizes the heat energy. In thermal conversion, the biomass feedstock is heated to burn, dehydrate, or stabilize. The most familiar biomass feedstocks are raw materials such as MSW, which is municipal solid waste, and the scraps from the paper mills or lumber mills. Different types of energy are created through the direct firing, co-firing, another process, that is pyrolysis, gasification is another process, and anaerobic decomposition. Before the biomass can be burned, the important thing is it must be dried. So it is chemically done, and the process involved in it is called torrefaction. During torrefaction, biomass is heated to around 200 to 320 degrees Celsius and it dries out so completely that it loses the ability to absorb moisture. And in this process, actually it loses its around 20% original mass, but it retains 90% of its energy. During the torrefaction, biomass becomes a dry, blackened material that is then compressed into briquettes. These briquettes are hydrophobic, it means they repel the water. This makes it possible to store them very easily in even moist areas. These briquettes have high energy density and are very easy to burn during the direct firing or in the process of co-firing. So what is actually the direct firing and co-firing? Direct firing is the process in which the biomass briquettes are directly burnt, produce steam, and run a turbine, which in turn generate electrical energy. This electrical energy can be utilized for any purpose, whether it is manufacturing or heating a building. Biomass can also be co-fired. Actually, most often it is co-fired, and it can be co-fired with fossil fuel very easily. In thermal power plants, the biomass is used and it is fired along with the coal. Actually, co-firing eliminates the need for new installments, new factories to process the biomass, and also co-firing eases the demand for coal, which is also a factor. That is why we can say that co-firing is a better way to do the thermal process. Now I am showing you a diagram in which the pyrolysis is formed, and in this diagram you can see the biomass is first dried and then the biomass is put into the grinding machine where it is grinded, and after that it is put into the reactor, and we can, as you can see in this diagram, I will show you in this diagram. This is the reactor, you can see it, and grinded biomass is put into it, while the heat for this can be obtained from here, that is to dry the biomass up to 320 degrees Celsius. We get it heat from the process, and now I am showing you this diagram again, and here a cyclone is there, you can see it here. From the reactor, the biogas material, after processing and heating, it will go in the cyclone where the dust particles etc. are removed, and the gas is collected here, while bio oil is obtained in this container. And first we have to understand what is pyrolysis. So pyrolysis is related method of heating the biomass. Simply we can say this: during the pyrolysis, biomass is heated to around 200 to 300 degrees centigrade in the reactor without the presence of oxygen, which is important, without the presence of oxygen. This keeps it from combusting and causes the biomass to be chemically altered. Pyrolysis produces a dark liquid that is called pyrolysis oil, a synthetic gas that is called syngas here, and a solid residue here, which is called biochar. All of these components can be used for energy production. Pyrolysis oil, sometimes called as bio-oil or biocrude, is a type of tar. It can be combusted to generate electricity and is also used as a component in other fuels and plastics. Syngas, you can say synthetic gas, is the syngas actually, can be converted into fuel such as synthetic natural gas, and it can also be converted into methane and used as a replacement for natural gas. It can also be very useful because it has a very high efficiency of combustion. Biochar is a type of charcoal. It is a carbon rich solid actually, that is particularly useful in the agricultural processes. It enriches the soil and prevents it from leaching pesticides and other nutrients into runoff. It is also an excellent carbon sink. Carbon sinks are the reservoirs for carbon containing chemicals, including the greenhouse gases. So, in this diagram, we have seen that how the pyrolysis occurs and what are the products we obtain in the process of pyrolysis from biomass. So, what we obtain? We obtain syngas, synthetic gas, and we obtain bio oil, as well as we obtain the biochar. Now next we will discuss another process of biomass conversion, that is gasification. We can say that biomass can also be directly converted to energy through the gasification. During the gasification process, a biomass feedstock, which is actually MSW, means municipal solid waste, that is heated to more than 700 degrees centigrade with a controlled amount of oxygen. In this, you can see it here. This is the gasifier here. This is gasifier. You can see it here. And the molecules of the biomass feedstock breaks down and produces syngas and slag syngas in a combustion of hydrogen and carbon monoxide. You can see it here. In this diagram, during the gasification, syngas is cleaned to sulfur particulates, mercury and other pollutants. The clean syngas can be combusted for electricity or processed into transportation biofuels, even in fertilizers also. And the slag which we obtain here form as a glassy molten liquid. It can be used to make cement or asphalt. Industrial gasification plants are being built all over the world, and you can easily see all these things in this diagram. Biomass is put here first, and then you can see through the bucket elevator here, it goes into the feed system, and from there it is put into the hopper, and through an injection system it is put into the gasifier here, and here it is heated up to 700 degrees centigrade in the presence of a controlled oxygen, and the gaseous material which is obtained here will be put here in cyclones, which are used to separate the syngas and the cha. So in this process we obtain the syngas directly. Next process or next biomass conversion system is anaerobic decomposition. As you are seeing here, it is written here. In this process bacteria break down the material in the absence of oxygen, and anaerobic decomposition is a very important process in the landfills, where the biomass is crushed and compressed and create an anaerobic environment, means in which the oxygen amount is very less. In an anaerobic environment it decays and produces methane, which is a very important source of energy. Next process is biofuel. Biomass is said to be the only renewable energy source that can be converted into liquid biofuels such as ethanol and biodiesel. Biofuels are directly utilized and also they can produce electricity, they can power vehicles, and these are produced by gasification in many countries. Ethanol is made by fermenting the biomass, that is high in carbohydrates such as sugarcane biomass, wheat biomass, or corn biomass. Biodiesel is made from combining the ethanol and the animal fat or vegetable oil. Biofuels do not operate as efficiently as gasoline. However, they can be blended with gasoline to effectively power the vehicles and machines. Next is biochar. Biochar, which is mostly produced during the process of pyrolysis, is a very valuable product in agriculture. When the biomass rots or burns, it releases high amount of methane and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. However, when biomass is charred, it sequesters or stores its carbon contents. When biochar is added back to the soil, it can continue to absorb carbon and form large underground stores of sequestered carbon. So, we can say that biochar can be a carbon sink that can lead to negative carbon emission and healthier soil. It also helps enrich the soil. It is porous. When added back to the soil, it absorbs and retains the water and the other nutrients. Also, we can study here black liquor, hydrogen fuel gases and illegal fuel through the biomass. What is black liquor? When wood is processed into paper, it produces a high energy toxic substance which is called as black liquor. Hydrogen fuel cells. Biomass is rich in hydrogen which can be chemically extracted and it is used to generate power and fuel vehicles using hydrogen fuel cells. Stationary fuel cells are used to generate electricity in remote locations where no other source of electricity generation can be installed, such as in spacecraft and wilderness areas. We can use hydrogen fuel cells to generate electrical energy. And algal fuel. Algae is a unique organism, we all know this, that has enormous potential as a source of biomass energy. Its most familiar form is seaweed, which produces energy through the photosynthesis at a much quicker rate than any other biofuel feedstock. Algae can be grown in ocean water, so it does not deplete the freshwater resources. It also does not require soil and therefore it does not reduce the land use that could potentially grow food crops. So we can say that algal fuel is a very important fuel which is obtained from the biomass. There are so many advantages biomass has. It is a very clean, renewable energy source. Since its initial energy comes from the sun and plants, algae, etc. can regrow, so biomass will always exist in nature. So many biomass feedstocks such as switchgrass can be harvested on marginal lands where they do not compete with food crops. So we can say that it has so many advantages, and since biomass is present in nature everywhere, so we can utilize it and produce electrical energy, as well as we can produce other products like synthetic gas, we can produce methane, we can produce cha, we can produce biodiesel, etc. We can also discuss some of the limitations biomass has. If biomass feedstocks are not replenished as quickly as they are used, they can become non-renewable. A forest, for example, can take hundreds of years to re-establish itself. So if we just use it and use it without replenishing it, then it will decay at a very faster rate, and potentially then it will not be a renewable source. Also, we can say that burning the biomass releases carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen gases, and other toxic elements which can pollute our environment and particulates. If these pollutants are not filtered and recycled, then burning the biomass may create smog and even exceed the number of pollutants released by the fossil fuels in thermal power plants. So these are few limitations of the biomass, but still, since biomass is a very good source of energy from which we can obtain many products by biomass conversion processes, so it's a very unique kind of renewable energy source.